All right, let's get this started here. Kashav, can you hear me and does your mic work? Do you want to just give a quick check?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear this?
Yeah, perfect. All right, good to go. So, welcome everyone. This is kind of the first AMA we're doing on Discord, run by the interns. Myself, Asher. I'm the new go-to-market intern. Essentially, my job is to move us from a closed beta to an open beta and everything in between. And then Kashav, you want to give a little intro?
Yeah, I'm Glaria's new software engineer intern. My job is mostly helping implement the new features that are coming out before launch, taking care of maintenance for any bugs, and general maintenance and development on the core platform.
Okay, sweet. So a little bit of background about myself. Well, both of us, we're university students. We run university blockchain clubs at our school, which is kind of, our, at least myself, my first kind of entrance into crypto. I realized there was no club at my school. I loved crypto. I've already been in it for like 5 years at this point. So the club was kind of like my entrance into the space. That's how I met, the Glider team and Brian, as you probably know. Um, and really started to like work in the space. And then, this opportunity at Glider opened up and I decided to apply and it's been fantastic so far. So far in crypto, like this past 5 years, I've been a big trader, right? I'm on the financial side. I'm taking finance in university. So I do a lot of like a lot of perps, a lot of a little bit of meme coins here and there, however it works out. If the space is hot and there's money to be made, I'll give it a go. I do a lot of like borrowing and lending and like yield stuff. So more on like the technical DeFi stuff. But all that stuff is just so fun to me. So I kind of just dabble wherever my interest goes. Recently, I've been like doing a lot of dabbling on Sonic. I'm not sure if you guys have really been on there much, but pretty fun space. And more recently, just kind of on base and EVM as I've kind of been with Glider exploring. Kind of just getting a lay of the land. Um, And yeah, like I was saying at Glider, I'm doing the go to market stuff. So one of the things that I'll be working on here is kind of the community initiative we're working on. Really, just connecting with you guys before I launch, and just being really tapped in with you guys and giving you what you want and working with you and making this the best community in Web3. That's really the main goal, right? And that's only going to help propel us forward as we move closer to launch and post launch. So that's really what I'm here for. I'm going to be sort of the main contact for that. So if you ever want to see anything in the community, you ever want to do something, you want to get involved, you have questions, obviously you can ask our two devs as well. They're absolutely amazing and will kind of relay a message if I miss it. But in terms of initiatives, you can also just ping me directly. I'll be in the server, that sort of thing. Kashav, do you want to talk a little bit about sort of your journey in crypto and how you got here?
Oh crap, I was on mute. Yeah. I started doing crypto in high school where for the most part I was just doing some very light trading. Nothing too serious. And then I think I got more interested in the technology when I came to university. So similar story to Ashar, honestly. I joined university and joined our blockchain club there, which already existed at the time. And I think our presidents did and our the team, like the exec team at the time, did a really good job of onboarding me and taking that interest that I had and making me work on a bunch of different projects, hone my developer skills. I went to a bunch of hackathons and uh, over time, I got interested enough to start looking for more, trying to see if I can find my own way going full time in this space. And that's how I ended up at Glider. I met Brian at a conference. We had a really nice chat, and he mentioned that Glider was hiring. So I applied, and here we are. It's been a really nice journey. I've got to meet some really awesome people, work on some pretty cool projects that I don't think I would have been able to work on if not for the fact that I was lucky enough to be at a university where crypto as a club already existed, and we had a good team that sort of like motivated me, supported me to get here.
Yeah, sweet. Honestly, feeling the same thing. Like, if any of you guys are in school or like young and can kind of start something like that, or join a crypto club in your community or something, and you want to be in the space, like that is the best place to break into it. Like the connections you'll make, like the people you'll meet, is absolutely absurd. But anyways, that's kind of enough on us. Let's talk about the real thing that we're all here for, which is Glider. So like I was saying, we're kind of working on this community initiative, me personally, to kind of like give you guys what you want and connect with you guys and really just be in touch with the community and help you guys, get what you want. Right. So obviously, one thing that everyone wants here is going to be invite codes. If you guys do not have an invite code yet to the beta, and would like one, you can drop a message in the chat. Our mods will take a bit of a survey there, and we can try to get you invite codes, likely through DM, or we'll do it through Twitter or something. But if you need a code and you don't have one, let us know, and we can help you hook you up with that. If you're here right now, you're the people that we want on the platform. You're the people that are in the community that we need feedback from, and you deserve to be on the platform. So yeah, if you need a code, let us know. We can try to hook you up. One thing that we want to keep on doing is these sort of virtual meetups. If you can't really tell, like it's pretty chill, not too formal. We really just want to like be here and chill with you guys. So we're gonna try to do this kind of once a week. I'm thinking every Tuesday. It's a nice early time in the week, where we can kind of just like chat. You guys can ask any questions, and like we can kind of just chill and connect. So if you guys would prefer a different day of the week, if you guys want any certain topics discussed on these sort of calls, just let me know. I'll be here every week, and we can kind of work with you on that. Something that we want to kind of get into a little bit more is a lot of like gaming. I mean, myself personally, and I think a lot of people in crypto are sort of like gamers and like to play games. So I want to do some like community games with you guys. I'm not sure if you saw the poll the other day, but we were kind of polling on what games we should play. Krunker, Gartic, or like all those sort of like web games that are super collaborative, and we can just like send out an invite link and everyone can join up. Yeah, like Smash Carts is another one. That sort of thing we're also going to be doing a lot more of, just because it's so fun. You might as well just like connect with the people in your community. Helps like actually build like a deeper sense of community besides just like talking in general all day. So we'll get some of that going. I think we have it scheduled for tomorrow. We'll get a game going at some point. But that kind of brings me to the next topic is we need to see when you guys are the most active, right? Because we want everyone to be able to participate. We want to make sure we have like the highest engagement with these games. We want to fill up these lobbies, right? So our mods are going to be putting out a poll in a second here, kind of just polling like what time of day is best for you. Obviously, we can't accommodate everyone because of time zones, but we're going to do our best. We're going to kind of just find happy medium. Maybe we can do 2 in a day, sort of like in the middle of each time zone, so everyone around the world can participate. But yeah, mods will put that up. They'll tag you guys, and just go and vote. If you don't vote, we're not going to know when you're on your computer, when you're going to be able to play, so it's going to be harder to accommodate you guys. But yeah, cast a vote, let us know. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Like I said, like our whole goal is really just to give you guys what you want in terms of community initiatives. So if you have an idea of something you want to see with the community, if you want to play a certain game or like do anything, please let me or the mods know. Like that's what we're here for. We're here to accommodate you. So we'll figure it out. Rewards for the games. I'm working on trying to, drum up a little something for that. I saw that in the chat. Obviously, we're gonna do some invite codes for those people that don't have it, right? But I'm gonna work on a little something else. If I can pull something together, best. But no promises there. You can definitely do invite codes. So if you don't have a code, the best way to kind of get one is just to be active. Chat with me in the mods, and then we'll notice your name. We'll see you guys. Yeah. What about poker? I think we could do some poker. I think that'd be really fun. I don't see why not. We just got to find a good platform. If anyone has a recommendation for good platforms for poker, that'd be sweet. Or any games like that. Kashab, do you have any ideas for games or any sort of thing like that?
I'm a big fan of Conquer actually, but
Yeah.
for
Yeah, me
poker
too, actually.
especially, I know a couple platforms that are really good and pretty simple to use, especially if you're hosting like a public game. Apart from that, I think Gartic Phone was already suggested.
Yeah.
Mm, there's some like games like Monopoly that, but they're only for like I don't think they're for a lot of people at a time, like 8 people each.
Yeah, okay.
Those could also be
What I
pretty
was
fun.
Yeah, what I was thinking too, if you guys are interested, um, like competitive games, like Marvel Rivals or like Overwatch or League or that sort of thing. I want to kind of set up this sort of not really like program, but I want to help you guys connect with community members you can play with, right? Like I play Rivals a lot, but none of my friends really do. So I'm usually just like solo queuing. But if other people have people that they want to play with or like they play Rivals too, we can kind of set up a channel where people can go and find these teams for these games. Or like if you want a 5 stack for Valorant, like you can find your people in the Glider Discord. Um I find that's the easiest way to make friends. You know what I mean? Like play some video games with them, get to know them, and like that's the best way to do it. Extractor, we can have rumbles too. I think that'd be a good idea actually. Rumbles are pretty easy and we can do it right in the Discord if I'm thinking about the right thing. Um, yeah. But let me know if you guys want to do that sort of you know, team building or like competitive thing. Oh, true, Stumble. Can you do private lobbies in Fall Guys? Is that a thing?
I think we've got a question from Io. What's your team's go-to snack or drink during long coding sessions?
Yeah, you can take
This
that one.
might this might sound weird, but I just when I'm like locked in, when I'm coding for a while, I just literally don't eat. It takes like a while for me to wake up from that and realize, oh shit, I haven't eaten for like an hour, more than that. But
Yeah,
after that, I'm a big fan of just like milk. I know it's kind of like very basic, but it definitely, I don't do any caffeine. It gets me really jittery. So it just gets
really.
me super, yeah, no, it's bad. Uh, but it does get me super, it gets me super, focused. It gives me the energy I need, and it's pretty filling. So I can just, drink a glass and forget about it for a while because I will just end up forgetting. When I'm like coding, I have like no awareness of what's going on around me.
Yeah, getting that sort of locked in is kind of what you need to. For me, like if I don't really code, but like when I'm like doing work or whatever, I need to have coffee. Like I've been sort of reliant at this point. But like, oh my God, if I get a coffee and like I have like a lot of like a long project to work on, I can just sit there and like grind it and like listen to music and forget about everything else. Yeah, like you were saying, like the coffee kind of, I mean, caffeine is an appetite suppressant, so it like, you don't really get hungry, which helps. Um, but yeah, no, I do need the caffeine if I'm gonna lock in that hard. I think my problem was I work out a lot and like I take a lot of pre-workout, or I used to. Like back in high school, I would like take so much, and that's just like unreal amounts of caffeine. And like now I'm just so dependent, it's so bad. I should probably stop, but I don't know. I have a lot of work to do these days. I can't really.
Yeah, I have a friend who's like, when finals come around, he takes close to a gram of caffeine, maybe sometimes more than that a
Jeez,
day. I'm
that's
like,
absurd.
Jesus, bro, that's
Yeah, that's a little bit bad at that point. Um, Another question from Io here. What's Gliderfy's long-term vision for the DeFi ecosystem? Do you see yourselves evolving into a strategy aggregator, portfolio manager, or something else entirely differently? It's a good question. I think it's hard to say where exactly we're going to go. I definitely see us more as a portfolio manager. Because the way I like to think about it, and this was kind of something that was brought to me like recently, something I didn't really think about, but our platform is really powerful for businesses, right? Let's say you're this crypto company and you have a ton of funds, and you don't want to hold it all in cash. You want some market exposure because you need, like let's say ETH for like operations and stuff. Having to like manually push transactions through your, business accounts, connect a wallet and like, how you're going to have your multi-sig, it's kind of just inefficient, right? It just doesn't work that well, right? But with Glider, you can just tap into like our portfolio management kind of tools, and you can just have your profile auto balance. You don't need to worry about multi sigs. You don't need to worry about prices. You can set it up where it's like stop loss, take profit too. So like you don't even have to watch the market. You know your portfolio is balanced perfectly. So I think portfolio manager is definitely one. I think more on the retail side, so kind of away from the businesses, more of like a strategy aggregator. In my mind, what I'm envisioning is like, KOLs, they go and like they build a crazy strategy that's massively profitable. And then, people can just fork it. They don't have to copy trade. It's not like you have to have a bot that's following their wallet 24/7. You have to like sit there and push the transactions through. You really just are running literally the exact same strategy as them. You're as good as a trader as they are, because you're running their strategy. And the KOLs can get rewarded in terms of like clout or like some sort of thing. But it makes a lot of sense to be doing it like that rather than like copy trading because it's just inefficient, right? And you don't have to worry when you're using Glider. The whole point is it's hands off, worry free, right? So you can kind of just like chill. You know that your portfolio is going to be managed properly, and I think that's valuable for businesses and retail. Um, yeah, I think most of our kind of structured stuff is kind of ran through, just little intros, that sort of thing. So let's just kind of focus on questions for a while, and then kind of at the end we can kind of grab people's names for invite codes. So just like stick around for that. But does anybody have any questions? I see yours. I'm gonna come back to that unless someone else has a question. Just give other people a chance. But um, security is a top concern for DeFi. What measures has Gladify implemented to ensure safety of funds, protect against potential vulnerabilities? Personally, this isn't a question I can answer that well.
I can take
I
this
don't.
one.
You got it. Okay, sweet.
Yeah. So Glider is obviously audited by top firms. That's basically a given if you want to be like any sort of a serious project. But there are some things in the back end that I can't fully get into for, security reasons. But I will say that the fact that Glider's team, developer team, is really experienced and comes from a variety of these different backgrounds. They've implemented a custom system that makes it so that every single dollar that transacts through Glider and that resides in a portfolio can't be accessed by anyone except you. It can be accessed by anyone within Glider, even if they have full access to the code and the database. It can be accessed by anyone outside of Glider, whether they're hosting our database or our resources. We've built our infrastructure in such a way that it's impenetrable. And this sort of thing is not what I regularly see in crypto projects. A lot of projects just store, user keys or data just plain. Again, I know this is kind of vague and I can't really get into details here, but I will say that the implementation for security on Glider is one of a kind because we are very conscious of the fact that we are handling user funds and that many of these DeFi projects are victims of hacks. And that's why our security system is just built ground up to ensure like a robust security against any sort of these hacks.
Yeah, also a good thing to point out is that we're non-custodial, which means when you put your money into Glider, we're not actually holding it, and it's not being like mixed up with other people's monies, so or dollars, whatever. So it's just being held like in your wallet still, but we're just like helping you sort of manage it, right? So it's not like if Glider gets hacked, your funds are gone. Your funds are still in your wallet. We're just helping you manage it within your wallet. So yeah, I think that's good. Kind of. I mean, I'll chat with the team and see if I can get a more structured answer because that is a great question. One thing I want to touch on was the craziest or most profitable strategy someone has deployed on so far on Glider that's completely surprised the team. Funny story actually. when I was first introduced to the Glider team, they ran a university trading competition, right? So were you a part of that, Kishav?
I was. We didn't really do much though. I think that came in the middle of
Yeah,
midterms for us.
yeah, exactly. So it was kind of like it was kind of right in the middle of the midterms, which is a little bit tough. But I was like, I was pretty motivated. I was like, I want to win this. I think I can win this. I'm gonna go really hard. So I made a couple strategies, complex strats, tons of different coins, tons of different like filters and stuff. And it just wasn't really working, right? So I was like, hey, what can I do differently? Like this isn't working. Let me think outside the box a little bit. And I just saw that Kaido just launched, right? This was literally a day before. So it's brand new to the market. People were loving it, super interested. They had that sort of like Yaps thing where like people were just spamming it on Twitter. So it was getting a lot of mind share. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a new strategy. I'm gonna go 100% into Kaido, and I'm gonna see what happens. Right? If it pumps, great. If not, I'm not gonna win anyways. And put everything into Kaido at I think 90 cents, and it went to like $2 and something. So I had like over 100% gain, I think, something like that. But turned out to be like the best strategy just by holding one token. Ended up winning the competition for me, which was really cool. So maybe that's the reason I got hired. We'll see. But yeah, sometimes simpler is better. Sometimes you just need to like lock in on a certain token and just go all in. But yeah, that's probably the craziest one I've seen, just because like it was not what you'd expect. Uh, any other questions you can answer? Oh, what's the timeline for Glider's public launch following the beta? That's something I can't release right yet. All I can say is it's sooner than you think. Can't give you a date, can't really give you a timeline, unfortunately, but just stay tuned. It is coming. One I actually did see also is their ambassador program. The ambassador program is coming. That's something I'm helping with actually. Um, it'll be coming soon. It'll be honestly pretty profitable for you guys. I think it's going to be a really good way to reward you guys for being community members, and also kind of help us push the Glider vision forward. So that is coming soon. Will Glider only run on base? No, it's going to be multi-chain. We have a ton of EVM chains coming down, as well as SVM, which means you can trade Solana tokens. We have a bunch of really cool EVM chains actually coming, which will be kind of closer slash after launch. Any chance we see Glider on Kaido? I'm sure we will. When we launch, we'll kind of be pushing a little bit harder. I do. Are you planning to use Kaido for marketing? Kaido is really interesting. It's one that I like. I'm not sure exactly how we're gonna use it. Like, I don't even know if we have plans to. But it's something I'd be interested personally. So I'll kind of, I guess, push for that if you guys are interested in seeing that, because I think it is pretty helpful. Any specific criteria to be an ambassador? When we launch the program, there's going to be a couple of guidelines, not really criteria. The biggest thing is like if you're aligned with the Glider mission and want to help push it forward, then we're going to have you as an ambassador, right? And I don't want to spoil too much because it's really cool the way that we're doing it. Um, I'm going to stop myself there so I don't give away too much, but just know it's going to be really cool, and it's going to be fun to be an ambassador. Must use the filters on Kaido. That will help a lot. What do you mean about the filters? Can you elaborate on that? Yes, Kaido's pretty helpful, but if you determine the criteria on the leaderboard. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll work on Kaido. I'll take a look, see what we can do.
I think one of our development plans is to implement a block for Kaido
Yeah,
where you can, as part of a portfolio strategy, you can have the top 5 tokens by mindshare or the top 5 fastest growing tokens in mindshare. You can make a portfolio that goes equal 20% splits into the top 5 tokens. I think we have plans to implement a Kaido block as well as a bunch of other integrations. Uh, so that you can manage stuff that's not only based on what's trending or what's available, but also these dynamic criteria that allow you to build a more like really customizable portfolio.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be super cool when you use it. What features will be added in the future? Kind of like Kashab was just saying, we're gonna have a lot of different sort of integrations that help you sort of monitor the market and like manage your strategy. So, for example, that Kaido one is perfect, right? If you want to trade tokens based on Kaido Mindshare, you're gonna be able to do that through our block, and you don't even have to watch it at all. That sort of thing. You can kind of imagine where we can go from there. Pretty much like any sort of metric or platform that we want to use to manage our strategies, we can talk about integrating. I know that we have a couple really cool ones coming, which I mean hopefully will be added soon, but this stuff takes time. But yeah, we can kind of just like implement a ton of different platforms, just the way that our platform works. um but I don't want to spoil too much. I think you guys are really gonna love the way we're going with this, though. That's all I'm gonna say. Filter like inner circle protection more. Like if 100 people post.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I see. Sorry, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
think Kaido has like spam prevention, takes care of a lot of that. But yeah, we'll be doing our own like custom scripts as well, just making sure we get accurate data and you know not spam. We want people who are really thoughtfully engaging with the protocol and posting good thoughts on Twitter, not just spam posts. So Kaido takes care of a lot of that, and we'll be doing some work on our end too.
Hmm. Spooky. What will be the criteria for the ambassador program? Don't make it influencers, please. Yeah, no, we don't want. Well, we don't really want influencers. We want like you guys. That's the point. Like we want you guys to be pushing the glider mission on your own because you want to, right? Not because um not because you're an influencer and like you have to. So it's gonna be targeted towards you guys, not just KOLs and like random people who don't actually like glider. So no need to worry about that, Spooky.
What protection will be provided against hacks? I think I already talked about this a little bit earlier, but quick DLDR. We have a very robust security system. It's one of its kind. Generally, like I've been working with a lot of different platforms in the past, and I haven't seen this kind of security. I can't really get into detail, but I think to reiterate Ashar's point, Glider is non-custodial. We don't actually have access to your funds. You control all of your funds, meaning your the only way you get hacked on Glider and lose your funds is if your private key gets hacked, which is just a matter of like internal security. Don't click on suspicious links, don't download weird stuff, sign, don't give away your private key, just obvious stuff. But apart from that, Glider is very secure, and we are working really hard to make it even more secure going into our launch. We probably will be publishing some sort of like a report soon, just, to give our users more confidence, give the community more confidence in our security. That'll come up in like next couple of months.
Sweet. Can we get a DJMO that automatically trade based on Elon Musk's tweet? That's something we actually talked about. And I know Brian mentioned that in the last AMA. Those sort of Twitter integrations I think will be really cool, where you kind of trade based on tweets. So I'm not going to guarantee we're going to have that, but I know Brian mentioned it, so I don't see why not. That's just, I'm not too sure. Let's see what else we got here. If Glider had a dating profile, what would its bio say? It would just say, glide forever. That's all you need. Excuse me. If I make a strategy that apes into rugs but does it profitably, do I get a job offer and an intervention?
I just saw that
Honestly,
one.
yeah. In our trading competition, we had a pretty big problem with people just aping rugs and then getting ruined. So it'll probably more likely be an intervention, but if you can do it profitably, I'll personally, I'll personally book a call with you and see how you're doing it because I'll need to know. All right. Any other questions here, guys? We are getting close to the half an hour mark, so we'll probably start to wrap it up. If you have any other questions, let us know. Yeah, if you can make that strategy and make it profitable, send it to me and I'll take a look and I'll see what you're up to. Why isn't there a link to the Discord on the official Twitter page without those fans participant? Or maybe I have and not noticed. Let me check. Actually, I'm not even sure.
Will Glider
it's-
Fries. I think
Sorry, go
got
ahead.
a new one. No, that's good.
Yeah, it
Will
links to
Glider
our
Fry.
website, which has our Discord on our website, but I guess we could do a link tree or something.
Will Glider Fry stay fully on chain or off chain components involved? We do have some off chain components with regards to rebalancing. Like we have a system that rebalances every hour. Those parts are offline because it's far more efficient for us to do offline. It would make zero sense at all to put that kind of stuff on chain. We have an API as well. We're going to be hosting that. So yeah, there are some off-chain components involved, but most of the execution, all of that, like all the execution takes place on chain. So you can very easily see your trade data, all of that. You can verify that you're getting the best available price, that you're getting the most efficient swaps, but the actual calculation of the efficiency, automating the per hour rebalance, that's taking place off chain.
Will there be OG tiers and Discord roles? So we have like this OG Glider Gang role and a couple other Discord roles. I don't want to say I don't think I can really chat about that too much. But just know if you have one of these roles, we know who you are. And we can see and you'll it's appreciated, you know. If you've been around for a while, we're collecting names, sort of thing. How does Glider handle failed transactions within an instruction block? Does it halt or retry? Kashab, do you know this one?
Yeah, I think so. The way it works currently is we have a system set up that will make sure that our transactions get through. That uses a number of criteria in assimilating. There's a bunch of different things. It's kind of complex to, I guess, explain in quick detail. But for the most part, I think we're retrying execution and trying to make sure on our end that there are no failed transactions, that we calculate the most efficient as well as the most executable line of swapping.
Sweet. What specific strategies in Glider Finance using to attract and retain competitive users in the competitive DeFi space? How does it align with your vision? Okay, basically, our main goal, right, is to really abstract everything away from crypto that's like normal, right? You know, like going to a bridge to bridge a token, and then going to a DEX to swap your coins, and going to another platform to get like yield. All those sort of things. It's like at this point, after being in crypto for a while, it seems easy and like it seems like it's fine. But to someone new to crypto, that's like absurd. Like that is like, oh my God, why do I have to do all of this? Right. So our goal is to really just take that whole process away. Right. We don't want you to be doing all those things. Like that's kind of our value proposition as a platform is the ease of use, right? You can sign up your grandma, you can ask her what she wants to hold, and you're good to go. Like you don't need to explain how to swap. You don't need to explain how to bridge. You don't even need to explain how to turn on her wallet, right? It's just going to be automatically, kind of managing her portfolio for her. So I think that's a big thing. The ease of use is really going to help kind of pull people away, I think, from traditional crypto, as well as kind of onboard the next generation of crypto, the next batch of retail investors. So it's a really good question. I'll try to come up with a better answer and get back to you. Because there's thoughts that I want to say, but I don't know how to like word it properly. So I'll come back to you with that one, but hopefully that helps a little bit. Um, how to get an access code. So yeah, we'll be giving away a bunch of codes here. Um, give me a quick sec here, Kashav. If you want to keep answering questions, I'll be back in 1 sec.
Yeah. Just, is there a forbidden strategy the team jokes about? I don't think so. No, as far as we're concerned, any strategy that is like possible and you want to do it, then yeah, go ahead. I don't think there's anything like obviously, try not to like buy rugs or honeypots, which is not like the greatest idea just for your own portfolio. But I don't think there's some interesting strategies that we have talked about, but more so those are strategies that we're thinking of like implementing new blocks for. So, trading based on the Twitter API, trading based on Kaido, maybe trading based on, other metrics. We think of that kind of stuff. Don't think there's like a forbidden strategy. Copy trading
Um,
feature is, oh yeah, sorry.
no,
I'm
sorry.
just,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll just finish that one. Yeah, copy trading feature is actually something we're thinking of. We're looking to make public profiles. So stay tuned for more updates actually, but essentially you'll have a profile and you can, if you choose, you can make your strategies public and have people, fork them off you and try making them better or just running them directly. It'll be kind of similar to, Phantom, where you have like a username and you can share that username. People can look you up, look at your strategies, see if they're profitable or not, test them, like back test them. That's something we are looking into.
Yeah, perfect. Um, will there be a system for dealing with inactive participants or roles be taken away from those who've been active for long periods of time? I don't say like it's not like a guarantee your role's going to be taken away if you go inactive for a little while. But like we're keeping tabs on like who's been here from the start and like active from the start and who just kind of like got their role and like sort of abandoned the Discord and stuff. So I don't think don't you don't need to worry about that too much. We're handling that. With the invite codes. So if you guys want an invite code, take a screenshot of the AMA right now, kind of proving that you're in it, and then head over. You can open a ticket, post your picture, and be like, "Hey, I was in the AMA. I need a code," and our devs will grab you a code and get back to you. So yeah, just make sure you have proof that you were here and you're good to go. What are the chances that a person with zero knowledge of trading becomes one of the most profitable ones? I mean, becoming the most profitable is tough because you definitely need a little bit of trading knowledge to build your strategy. But if someone builds an insane trading strategy, there's no reason that your grandma can't just fork it and then also be an insane trader, right? She can have exactly the same strategy and get exactly the same returns just by clicking two buttons and depositing her money into it. So I don't know if your grandma will be better than the best trader, but she can be equal. You know what I mean? Will you just be able to create multi-layered strategies such as DCA, yield farming, periodic rebalancing, and one seamless flow? Yes, for sure. That's kind of the entire value proposition. I was messing around with it a little bit, and like you can make some absurd strategies. So like yeah, like DCAing is a great one, for example, or like stop losses and take profits. Right, you can work those into your strategy and still have like a normal strategy, but just it sells at a certain price or it buys at a certain price. Um, we're working on yield farming. That'll be interesting coming soon, hopefully. And then periodic rebalancing is kind of just built into the Glider platform, so you'll be good to go with that. Once you get access and really start messing around with it, and once we add new like integration and new blocks, you'll just like the opportunities for platforms will just get more and more complex, and like you'll have millions of different possibilities for strategies. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up here, unless you want to, add a couple things or answer a couple more questions, Kashav.
I think there's one left and we're good here, but will users be able to create multi-layered strategies such as DCA, yield farming, periodic rebalancing? I mean, we already have DCA, like the whole point of Ladder is that we have periodic rebalancing and DCA. With regards to yield farming and liquidity, I think that's something that we intend to do, not immediately, but in the future. We do have some ideas on, liquidity provision and those kind of like more technical DeFi strategies that we intend to, abstract, automate, make simple. But the goal is, yes, that Glider, I think it's important to like reiterate like the vision. The vision is that Glider becomes the face of how you access DeFi. Like it doesn't matter your level of technical skill, it doesn't matter how good you are. It's always simpler to use Glider to have it automate your portfolio execution, not just because it's simpler, but also because it's just more efficient and executes better. That's our goal here. Yeah,
Sweet.
I think that's it then.
Awesome. Well, we'll wrap it up here. We'll be back next Tuesday or Monday. I think we'll just stick with Tuesdays just so it's consistent. But yeah, if you guys want to see anything on the next AMA, you guys want to play a game or something, we'll be doing games, I think, tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And it'll be based on the time in the poll. So if you go to the community updates, you can see right now 16 to 18 UTC is winning right now. We'll probably, do a couple sessions here and there so everyone can participate, but go cast your vote in community updates if you haven't already. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all. Thank you guys for joining. I think this was super helpful. Really excited to kind of, work with you guys more and give you what you want to see and play some games and have some fun, and just keep pushing the Glider vision forward. Yeah, I mean, if anyone has any last questions, last remarks, feel free to drop them, but I'll be closing this off in 1 second here. Awesome. Well, we'll wrap it up here. I'll see you guys in general. We'll be back next week and games tomorrow. Sweet. Any last remarks
Awesome.
to shove?
Yep, thank you guys, and thanks, Ashar. We'll probably see you guys next time.
Hell yeah. Have a great day, guys. Bye.